39. I said, I will guard my ways that I may not sin with my tongue. I will guard my mouth as with a muzzle while the wicked are in my presence. I was mute and silent. I refrained even from good, and my sorrow grew worse. My heart was hot within me. While I was musing, the fire burned. Then I spoke with my tongue, Yahweh, make me to know my end, and what is the extent of my days. Let me know how transient I am. Behold, you have made my days as handbreadths, and my lifetime as nothing in your sight. Surely every man at his best is a mere breath. Surely every man walks about as a phantom. Surely they make an uproar for nothing. He amasses riches and does not know who will gather them. And now, Lord, for what do I wait? My hope is in you. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Make me not the reproach of the foolish. I have become mute. I do not open my mouth, because it is you who have done it. Remove your plague from me, because of the opposition of your hand I am perishing. With reproofs you chasten a man for iniquity. You consume as a moth what is precious to him. Surely every man is a mere breath. Hear my prayer, O Yahweh, and give ear to my cry. Do not be silent at my tears. For I am a stranger with you, a sojourner like all my fathers. Turn your gaze away from me, that I may smile again before I depart and am no more. What a strange conversation to have with God. God, I'm really trying not to say anything stupid. Please don't let me say anything stupid. That's verses 1 and 2. And then verses 3, and he says it again in verse 9, I have become mute. I do not open my mouth, because it is you who have done it. God, please don't let me say anything stupid. Okay, he says, shh, just don't say anything at all. I was once running sound at a church, and the preacher had misspoken. And it was me and another sound guy back behind the booth, and he said something kind of embarrassing. And he asks us sound guys, he says, hey guys, do you have a button back there that can make me sound smart? And the other sound guy hit the mute button while he kept talking. And just real quick, but we all got the picture. The best thing you can do is just stop talking sometimes, right? So this guy is asking that God would guard his words, give him wisdom, don't let him say anything foolish. And God says, maybe the best thing for you to do is to stay quiet. Now in verses 10 and 11, he says, remove your plague from me, because of the opposition of your hand I am perishing. Right? With reproofs, you chasten a man for iniquity. So what he's doing here is he's attributing his suffering directly to God. Again, you have been the one to shut my mouth. You have been the one to give me pain in discipline. Right? Discipline is unpleasant at the time, but a loving father does this, and it never seems like it's enjoyable, but then you end up thanking him for it later. And he's saying, God, you are the one causing this to happen to me, and I don't like it. But, verse 12, hear my prayer, O Lord, O Yahweh, and give ear to my cry. Do not be silent at my tears. For I am a stranger with you, a sojourner like all my fathers. Turn your gaze away from me, that I may smile again before I depart and am no more. So even though God is the one that is causing his unpleasant time in life, this phase, even though he is attributing his suffering directly to God, he still presses into God, and he still trusts God with this suffering. Now, the last one, in Psalm 38, we were seeing that David was showing us an example of how to trust God with your sin. Now here, we're seeing an example of how to trust God with the suffering that he himself has directly caused. Some of us have this idea that God would never cause me to suffer. When bad things happen, God's not the one doing it. He only does nice, pleasant things, and then the devil or the world or the flesh, they cause the bad things to happen. But the Bible's not shy about saying, no, God is the one who causes some of these bad things to happen. Think about it this way. God gives life, and he is the one that takes life away. Right? He's not shy about this either. And so anytime somebody dies, it is God who has taken their life away. There are these situations where somebody will take a life without God's authorization, murders and suicides and abortions and so on. But generally speaking, in the natural course of things, when somebody's born, it's because God gives them life. And when somebody dies, it's because God takes it. That death causes a lot of suffering, probably to the person leading up to their death, and then from all of their loved ones around. And so we can trust God in the middle of that suffering that he causes, or any other, really, because it's all inside of his sovereign hand. And so this is one of the answers that we to the questions that we ask when we're suffering. God, why would you allow this to happen? Well, first off, before we demand answers from him, let me just say that question right there is a good one, right? Because you're going to him for the answers. So we press into God and we trust him even with the suffering that he brings on us, because it's discipline. And it ends up somehow, all of it, being something that we will, in heaven, thank him for. Not in the moment, maybe. It's okay. We trust him for later. So trust God with the suffering and the discipline that he causes. He's a good dad. He knows what he's doing.